What about the healthcare workers? What about the frontline nurses? How quickly we forget that they were working 18 hours a day. What about informed consent? What about due diligence? It seems the country that I used to call home is surely slipping away.
Warning, censorship.
Well, that is an excerpt from an amazing new music video made, incredibly, by one of our rebels. Matt Brevner is a journalist in our BC bureau, and that's his rap video. I don't know if rap is the right phrase. I think it's beautiful. Joining us now via Skype from Vancouver is Matt Brevner. Matt, great to see you again.
Thank you so much for having me on the program. It's a pleasure.
Well, you know, I've watched that whole video. You gave us a sneak preview at our Christmas party, and the whole room was shocked. I mean, you work for us as a journalist. You cover the news. You're a cameraman. You're an editor. You're on screen sometimes. I sort of forgot that you know how to sing. Like that's actually your first profession. You're a singer.
Yeah, it's my history. That's actually how I came to Rebel. Was my music pass and getting canceled a year and a half ago or whatever that means now, and I spent kind of the last year hiding behind the camera and ducking my past career. But I felt like there was a lack of artists speaking out against what's happening right now, and you would hope that the arts would be the first line of defense for this sort of thing, and I felt like I had to write about it. So
I'm so glad you did. Video. And it's a good point because artists require gatherings. I mean, sure, you can stream and be digital only, but a lot of artists get started hard work in a small club at a small venue, heck, even at a wedding or a bar mitzvah. I mean, to pay the bills, to get some exposure, to get some experience. And when you shut down every theater, every concert venue, every gathering, every cycle of life event, I think a lot of times we think about the restaurant or the hotel, but we don't think about the artists. I think artists have been devastated in the last 2 years.
Well, it's not only not being able to tour, there's been a muzzling, especially of Canadian artists, because so many Canadian artists are fully dependent on the Canadian grant program. So if you step out of line of that, you don't get funded, and if you don't get funded, you can't pay your rent, and it's difficult as a musician. Even with streams, a million streams will pay you about $4,500. So and that's straight to the label, not including the label's cut, publishing, all expenses. So an artist could be clocking millions of streams on your favorite platform, and in fact still be hard pressed to get by. So.
You mentioned censorship. When we have to live our life virtually, when we don't live our life in real life, then there is always that middleman, and it's a censor quite often. I don't want to live in the metaverse. I want to live in the real universe. And just before we turn the camera on, you were telling me that because your video takes a contrarian point of view to the master narrative about the pandemic and the vaccines, that you had some problem promoting it online. Obviously a big tech algorithm censoring it like they would censor a tweet. Tell our viewers a little bit about this new kind of throttling that you saw on this music video.
Yeah, this is the first time anything like this has happened to me, and this is developing literally in the last 30 minutes. But typically in an industry standard music video rollout, you would run a Google AdWords program and a pre-roll, and you would market the song to like-minded people or people that have similar musical interests. And that's very essential in getting the message out there and getting it to not only your fans, but new fans. And Google blocked the video. They won't let me promote it. So unfortunately, if we want to get the message out there and we want people to hear it, it's just going to take some grassroots sharing and liking and sending to friends, because obviously big tech doesn't want this message to get out. It sounds a little bit cliche at this point, but it's the reality. And I'm looking at my ads manager and my Facebook manager right now, and they won't let me promote it. So I'm not sure actually who's actually seeing the video, but if you are seeing it and you like it, I would just leave a comment and like and whatever else, so I can know. But it's going to make it tricky to promote it, to be honest.
Well, we've dealt with that, of course, on the news side. We've been blocked and throttled and downranked by Google. It's just shocking, but not surprising that they've applied that to artistic and creative endeavors like music. You say Google blocked it. What are the other platforms you've put it on? I mean, there's different ways to get music out there. I like the video format, but a lot of folks listen just to the audio. Where else is your song right now?
Well, currently the song is on a platform called Bandcamp. And the reason why I decided to release it with Bandcamp rather than Spotify or Apple Music immediately is because they have a pretty amazing platform set up where people can download your song for free, or they can pay what they want to donate and get the download. So whether that's a penny or $1, whatever they want. And that goes basically after some service fees, basically goes directly to the artist. So, it really goes a long way. If you're going out of your way to pre-save a Spotify link, share the Spotify link, you could play that song 1,000 times and the artist might not even see $1 off of it. So this way, I figured it would be a good way to kind of bypass the system in a sense. This whole rollout is going to be a countercultural rollout, and I was expecting that to happen, and I'm actually excited by it. So if you like the song and you want to, contribute to me and my grassroots marketing efforts directly, you can go to brevner.com and follow the Bandcamp link and get the song there.
Brevner.com, BREVNER.com. Of course, Matt Brevner is the artist. Well, listen, I'm very excited about this. Sometimes these countercultural, I'm not even going to call it counterculture because it's authentic culture in response to the manufactured narrative of advertorials. I saw the other day, all these late night comedians ran the exact same sponsored content by Google and YouTube. And it was sort of a mashup of like 5 different late night comedians who actually had the same jokes, and it was all brought to you by Google. And that's not mainstream content. That's corporate PR. And I think sometimes an authentic grassroots person can fight back. In the States, Let's Go Brandon, some songs with that in their name have zoomed up as a way of people fighting back against the corporate message. I'm hopeful that your song could do the same thing. I mean, if it catches on, I think there's millions of Canadians and Americans and people anywhere around the world who would say, yeah, I'm going to listen to that. It could happen.
Well, I hope it inspires people to just have conversations with one another, because something I really noticed is a big public sentiment shift, and the cracks are starting to show in the narrative, especially over the Christmas break, where people who, they trust their government, they trust the news, they've just been doing what they've been told over the past couple of years, and it's still not enough. So people are starting to get fed up, I just hope that something like this, like the way the song's packaged, I wanted it to be moderate and just speak to questions that everybody's having, reasonable questions that we can't even ask anymore. And I hope it inspires people to have, these similar conversations, even pipe up a little bit with people they love or friends or family or whatever. And I believe that's the way we're really going to get over all of this mess.
Well, that's very exciting. I'm very hopeful. Tell me a little bit about the title of the song, the name of it. How did you come up with that?
Sure. I mean, a lot of the footage was gathered by just Drea and I out at Vancouver protests or BC protests over this past year. And it's crazy, especially I remember the major one at the end of summer in front of City Hall, and just the thousands of people. And it really makes you realize how many people there are that are passionate about freedom. And these are like the outspoken ones, never mind the people that are like speaking quietly or what have you. And it really is like the group of people that are driving segregation and oppression and hatred and vitriol into the public zeitgeist. They're really a minority. We've created this sort of like cultural hegemony where 1% of the population claim to speak for the 99. And I truly believe that with just a spark of hope or a dash of inspiration, it may encourage the other 99 to stand up and speak up and stand up for themselves. So more of us, I believe that. I truly believe that there's more of us that are passionate about freedom and passionate about family and want to keep this country and our social fabric together than want to destroy it. So I truly believe that.
Well, there you have it. The song is called More of Us. The artist is our friend Matt Brevner, who happens to be a rebel. out in Vancouver. You can get the track yourself at brevner.com. And we'll end the show today by playing it for you in full. Matt, great to see you. Congratulations. It really is thrilling to have someone of your talent in our shop. I mean, we know you as a news gatherer and an editor and a journalist. It's really fun to see your artistic side come out. Thanks very much for this, and good luck on the song. I think it's going to do great.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate the opportunity to share this, and this is my contribution to the fight, to the front, and it really feels like a full circle moment. So for that, I'm truly grateful to you, Ezra. Thank you.
Well, I've done nothing other than enjoy the music and encourage our viewers to do the same. Folks, there aren't a lot of artists on our side of this idea battle who are willing to stand up and stand out. So I would encourage you to go to brevner.com and chip in. As Matt said, it could be a penny, it could be a dollar, whatever it is, just to help an independent creator fight the power with truth. And I would encourage you to do that. Matt, congrats. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Ezra.
All right, you're welcome. There you have it. Matt Brevner. Go to brevner.com.